Next up on our LP of Skullmonkeys for Game On is Castle de los Muertos. Loosely translated, that's Castle of Death. Now, this is a pretty long level, and I'm probably going to be able to make it to the bonus, and then there's a boss at the end of this, Monkey Mage. So, kind of like in Sorehead, I want to predict how long it'll take me to beat this entire world. And I would say it's going to take me 15 minutes. Or under, I should say. Under 15 minutes. Normally I would split this video up, but the next couple of videos are going to be really short, because after this, then there's going to be the Worm Graveyard, and then before that you get the Incredibly Drivey Run, and neither of those are terribly long, and like I said, we're only going to do one world per video, so I can't just randomly start mixing worlds together, because that would break the whole structure of the show. So we're gonna do the entire world of Castle de los Muertos from start to finish, and I'm gonna see if I can do it within 15 minutes. Of course, you have to exclude the end credits, and you have to exclude the opening credits. And I died there for some reason. Oh, it's these things that are poking me. This is a really interesting level, the way that they decided to make it. It's actually kind of a dumb idea, but it is a unique way to do a level. It's just, in this particular instance, it didn't really work very well, because there's a background that's also black, and a foreground that's also black. So making Clayman a shadow means that you can't really see where he is at all times, and then you'll die. You can see your halo, so that's a start. But I think it's because the moon is supposed to be in the background there, and the light would be coming from the moon, and we're looking at Clayman from the side of his face that isn't being touched by the light. So that's why he's in shadow. If this was a movie, then what's going on here would be a definite cinematic no-no. You never want to do that. Always shoot somebody with the bright side of their face. Unless you're gonna, disguise the identity of the person you're talking to, or interviewing. They do that for America's Most Wanted sometimes. They do it for Witness Protection Program sometimes too. It's kind of a cool effect, but it's not really too difficult to pull off. This place is kind of unique though. I like the red in the background. I can't tell, but I think the moon itself is kind of red. I know there's a name for that. I know there's a blue moon, when the moon is never really blue there, but it's just the name of it. And there's an eclipse, which means that you can only see parts of the moon. But there's definitely a name for the moon when it's like this, like when it's red like that. It might be new moon or something, but I know it's pretty rare. I can't think of the name of it though, so if you know what it is, then I ask you to tell me in the comments below. What else can I talk about in this level, though? Okay, here's a question for you. How come the trolleys are lit up, but Clayman isn't? I don't see any lights on those trolleys. So unless unless there's like a flashlight that's shining, in the direction of the moon for that particular spot, it should be black, just like Clayman. How come the monkeys aren't black either? Is there like a light in that little window thing that they're sitting in? Who knows, man? Who knows? This game is very repetitive, though. I never ended up taking that nap, so kind of tired. I really just want to get this game done, and then I can nap for 2 days. I might have said that already, but it's the truth, man. Ah! Stupid thing poked me in the ass with a spear. So I haven't even gotten down to 30 lives yet. I don't think I've ever gotten down to 30. I think we managed to make it to about 42. But I still haven't only used the cheat code once, and it's kind of nice that I'm going to be able to hopefully make through the entire game with having only used the cheat code once. And even then, I didn't use it immediately, so I did the first couple levels without the cheat code at all, and then later on I put the code back on. This is actually not a very hard level. The only thing that's hard about this one is the lighting and how he's kind of black. You'll often lose him in the foreground, in the background, because everything else is black too. Oh yeah, you're not so tough now, are you? When somebody avoids your spears, you're kind of powerless. But then they get hit by fire, and it kind of nulls the whole thing. So Castle de los Muertos, kind of the gloomiest level they've had in the game so far. But I mean, it's the Castle of Death, so that's not surprising. Ooh, I totally should have died there. That was weird. I don't know why I didn't lose a life there. Last time we saw fire, being shot out of a pit like that is Hard Boiler. So it's kind of a throwback to the original few levels. This is kind of a creative level, you know, in the grand scheme of things. You're running on a castle. None of these platforms are necessarily flat like in most of the other levels. A lot of the times you're running on a roof, and that's, you know, the complete opposite of a normal shape for a level. I'm still gathering Swirly Qs and Super Willies, but again, I still don't know what the Super Willies do, and I've never used one yet, so I'm waiting for my moment, but I don't want to use it until I know what it does, because it might be really valuable, and if I waste them, I'll feel like an idiot, so... It's kind of a conundrum that I've gotten myself into here. I've lost count of how many times I've gone on that roller coaster by now. Okay. Almost gonna die, but I think we can do it this time around. We've been going for just about 7 minutes. We're about 20 seconds shy. So if we can beat this, then I'll have 8 minutes left to do the rest of this world, and then the bonus and the boss. And I don't think Monkey Mage is that hard. I remember you just jump on his head, and I don't even think he attacks you at once. Ooh, what's that? So now the monkeys are done poking me, now this big thing's gonna take over? Oh, there was one of those at the beginning of the last one, wasn't there? So I was gonna take Castle de los Muertos and split it up into 2 parts. I think I might have mentioned that in an earlier episode, but I don't know, I really want to keep this countdown, or this series of videos, getting myself all tongue-tied. I want to keep this as, you know, simple as possible. And if I split it up into 2, then one of the videos wouldn't be terribly long. So it would have kind of been weird to do it when I could have just as easily fit 2 of them together. Which is what I ended up doing with Monk Rushmore. And then after this one, I think it's the Incredibly Drivey Run, which is definitely going to be a short video. That's only going to be about 3 minutes, too. I can bet it's going to take about the same amount of time to beat his Storehead. After that, it's Worm Graveyard, which will probably be able to make it through in just one video. And then the final stretch of this will be the Evil Engine number 9, during which, the last part of which, I'll probably do the game review that you've been long awaiting. Fun fact for you, because I don't have anything else to talk about. Gaming with Slash Raptor is the original name of this show, and I had about 56 episodes filmed and 2 edited when the hard drive crashed. And I was under the impression that all of the footage would go away with it. And after a while, it got to the point where I didn't care, because none of that footage was filmed using a capture card. That was all filmed with me pointing my camera at my TV screen, and it also had the other camera pointing at me, so it would cut back between me and my reaction shot playing the game and the game I was playing. And it didn't have any kind of structure to this. Every episode I did a different game, but I eventually stopped doing it like that because there were some games that there was so much in that I could do more than one episode in. So after a while it just got really complicated, and I decided to just scrap the entire thing and start again fresh using a capture card and just do a more well-structured show. So now it's become this, and I'm actually kind of glad I did it, because this is a lot easier to film. I mean, I don't have to keep switching games. I don't have to worry about 2 cameras. All I have to do is play a game and talk, and then edit it, and then every season 1 game. So it is kind of nice to do this. And those reviews in the original Gaming with Slash Raptor show, I did that before I even played the game, and I would be looking at me while I was talking, and then I would do the review. But after realizing that it didn't make a lot of sense to do it that way, I decided to do this, the way I'm doing it now, so that I'll do the review after we've played the game, because that way you can see everything I'm making references to in my review, and it'll make sense that after doing this entire season, this is what I think of this game. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing how much better this turns out. And I died in the bonus level again, look at that. So now we gotta fight Monkey Mage, who I think kind of looks more like a chipmunk than anything. Kind of looks like he has buck teeth there. I don't think he actually attacks you at any point. I think he just kind of stands there, and then you hit him in the head over and over again. And I think the whole challenge of this is supposed to be not to fall off the platforms, but that's not really much of a challenge. So far it isn't, anyway. Now see, I died once. But, you see, like, he doesn't attack you once. He just sits there. If he was shooting fireballs at you, I can understand it, but I think his magic is that he's making these platforms go around. And there's nothing really difficult about this guy. From what I've seen so far, I think the hardest boss is Jowhead Joe, because he's the only one who's constantly attacking you, and it's all pattern-based, and if you get hit once, you gotta start all over again. Everybody else, it's just kind of shooting him. But one more hit and he'll be dead. So that's about it for this episode of Get Your Game On, or Game On, whatever I decided to call it in the end. And I hope to see you guys in the next episode.